Hi everyone, welcome back to another Wild Compass episode where we take the path less traveled. So today I'm so excited to share with you one of my favorite countries in the world, Sri Lanka. So in this trip we actually rented a tuk-tuk to travel around the entire country. So yeah, watch on for the details. So we began our journey from Singapore to Colombo in Sri Lankan Airlines business class. We actually redeemed our tickets using the British Avios mileage program. The total flight time is about 3 hours and 50 minutes. And here's a first look at our seat. It comes with like a screen and with quite a wide selection of movies and quite a bit of leg room as well. The seat could actually lie flat, so you can have a good night's sleep on it. But I would say that throughout the flight there were multiple points where like the screen did go off, so that wasn't quite enjoyable. But other than that, it was mostly okay. We were also served like a welcome drink as well as like some cashews when we were on board. The cashews were really good, and that was the best part. So here's the menu, and it comes with quite a wide selection of tea. Yeah, so feel free to try them out. But yeah, so this is how our food actually looks like. Didn't quite enjoy it, to be honest. It wasn't to my palate, and I didn't really know what to expect actually. But the dessert was quite sandy, so yeah. Other than the cashews, I didn't quite enjoy any of the food on the flight. And yay, we made it to Sri Lanka. So here's a quick glimpse of the airport. So there are quite a lot of shops selling SIM cards, and also there's ATM. So we're headed to like People's Bank for the ATM as it doesn't come with any withdrawal fee. And we also did get our SIM card from Dialog. I don't actually remember the exact data plan that we got, but it was generally quite well connected throughout Sri Lanka. So then we actually headed outside the airport to wait for our driver that we arranged with the hotel to pick us up. So this is our accounts for the first day. So it was gonna be a really short stay as we were only here for the night and we were leaving to pick up our tuk-tuk early in the morning. So yeah, I was quite impressed with the facility as it came with like really clean toilets. I honestly, because it was my first trip to Sri Lanka, didn't know what to expect as well, but it was a very pleasant surprise. Okay, so we woke up bright and early the next morning to pick up our tuk-tuk from this place. So this was honestly the part of our trip that we look forward to the most. So we rented our tuk-tuk from this social enterprise called tuktukrental.com. So they actually don't own any of these tuk-tuk here, but instead they rent it from like the local community and rent it out to us, travelers, so that we can experience traveling the country and exploring the country in a tuk-tuk. So I'll get more into it later, but it's really nice to see how we can give back to the community when we are traveling. So we first picked up our vehicle and then they took us on a 1 hour driving lesson so that we got a hang of like driving this vehicle. It's not easy. I would say like it's a blend of both the motorcycle as well as the car, but the manual car, and we have auto license, so it was kind of hard at first. So after all that, we took a trip to the supermarket, and there was quite a wide selection of drinks, like especially fresh fruit juices that were available. There was also a bakery and section where they serve like hot food, and that was nice. And I really enjoy exploring supermarkets of different countries, and it was really nice to see how the locals live and like the kind of experiences that they get. So yeah. Okay, so we did buy something, so we'll get to the taste test shortly. So a taste test. It's very fresh. Not really. But it tastes as good as Mr. Avocado, I would say. Thought?
Great.
Perfect.
Yeah, just the right sweetness actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one in Mr. Avocado is too sweet.
And very thick.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a taste test on the egg bun. It's quite literal. It's like a a fully boiled egg cut into half inside a bun. So I don't know how it will taste. I haven't gotten to the egg.
Good.
Everyone keeps smiling at me.
I received quite a few knots in the supermarket.
I got green tea now.
I have no clue.
Some more really.
I think there's some kind of chili. Okay, but that's all. Bye.
So after our supermarket run, we continued our drive on the tuk-tuk.
Maybe a 2 out.
Okay, and our road trip begins. So as you can see, the roads are actually relatively clear because it was their elections day. So most of the locals were headed to the polling centers to cast their votes. So there wasn't much people on the streets. So it was a bit easier for us, especially when we were still getting the hang of driving the tuk-tuk. So in Sri Lanka, like the tuk-tuks are actually not allowed on the highways. So we were driving alongside the local residential areas, and we really got to see the way the locals live, and that was a really interesting and unique experience. And there was quite a bit of legroom in the tuk-tuk as well. I didn't struggle with any of that, and there was also a space behind me that I could put my bag. So generally very comfortable, especially for two-person. And yeah, sitting in a tuk-tuk, I also had full access to like the wind. So it was generally very cooling, very comfortable. And the best part, we could stop along the roadside and like just explore the place if we wanted to. So yeah, this was us just taking a coconut break. We met some of the locals and they are so friendly. They're one of the friendliest people I ever met. So
And tuk-tuk
that was
drivers
a
always
really
eyeing
great
us.
first
You
day
know
in
where?
Sri Lanka. So I took over the wheel for a little bit after that, and it was so hard. I honestly struggled. And even during the driving lesson, the instructor did ask like who was the one that was gonna do like most of the driving, and just referred to like my partner instead. So yes, and she didn't even teach me how to reverse because of that. So we're headed to the Dambulla area to visit the Dambulla Cave Temple. So since it's a temple, you do have to be dressed appropriately, like covering your shoulders as well as your knees. So there's a little bit of a hike up the area to get to the temple. So be prepared for that. Along the way, you will also encounter different groups of people trying to sell you flowers as offerings or even cover-ups. Just know that they are not compulsory and you can make your own decisions as to whether you want them or you could just walk away. As for the cover-ups, if you didn't already come prepared, you could also rent them from the guy like seated right outside the temple. So locals actually has it free, but it's not the case for tourists. We do have to pay a fee. The same would go for your shoes. They have to be deposited like outside the temple. So just be prepared to have some cash on you for all of this. After which, we headed to the Pidurangala rock for our sunset hike. So the 12-meter reclining Buddha that you just saw is part of the ancient remains of the Pidurangala temple. And the hike up to the summit takes about 30 to 45 minutes, and it's known to be one of the best spots for sunrise. So the hike can actually get quite tricky at some points as it requires you to do a decent amount of bouldering, climbing, and shimming through like giant boulders and cliffs. So do take note of that. So once you get to the summit, you'll be greeted with the incredible views overlooking the famous Sigiriya rock. And during sunset, like the surrounding landscapes also lights up in like a golden hue. So that was really nice to look at. It was also really windy at this point. Yeah, so it was very comfortable and fun to be in this area, very serene. Although there's quite a bit of people doing the same, but because of how big and spacious this whole area is, it doesn't feel suffocating. So we did also have to pay an entry fee to hike up the Pidurangala rock. This fee is part of the donation to the temple that you pass through at the start of the hike. So yeah, because it's located near a temple, you're also recommended to cover up your knees as well as your shoulders. But we did see people in sports bra and stuff. So not strictly enforced, but recommended. So you can also do the same and hike up the Sigiriya rock, but because it was more expensive, we chose to like get the view of the Sigiriya rock instead of actually hiking it. But you that's an option as well. So for the descent, you do also have to make it through the same way that you came. So there's quite a bit of rock bouldering. So if you're here for sunset, I recommend you start your journey down a little bit earlier. And also because we were driving a tuk-tuk, it wasn't recommended to drive in the dark. So we did have to begin our journey a little bit earlier. And it was quite scary. We actually drove past an elephant in the dark, but I couldn't really process it and didn't capture anything. But there was like an elephant right beside us, like a wild one. So yeah, quite scary. So we made it to our nature themed home and it was really nice and clean. There was actually a frog though, so I was trying my best to chase it out when all of this room tour happened. So pardon my screaming at the back.
To where?
So the hotel actually came with an in-house restaurant where we got our dinner from. So we ordered a classic Sri Lankan dish called the kotu roti, which is chopped roti together with curry as well as scrambled egg, onions, and chilies. So it was a very nice and cozy setup, and we were the only people there. So the staff did take extra care of us and like even played music for us, which was really sweet. So the next morning, we actually chanced upon the chef that was making our breakfast. So he was actually making some sort of roti with coconut, as well as like dal and a few other dishes that we didn't get to see, but it was really interesting, and he really took the effort to try explaining to us what he was doing. So this is how our breakfast actually looks like. We were served like pineapple jams as well as like this wrap. Yeah, it was really delicious, but the portion was so huge and we really struggled to finish them. We were also given the option to have either coffee or tea. So Sri Lanka is actually famous for like their tea plantation, so we decided to try their teas instead. So there were a few routine morning checks that you have to do on your tuk-tuk before you depart. So that's exactly what we did after our breakfast, and we were ready to begin our 4-hour long drive to Kandy. So as
Yep.
mentioned earlier, we did stay in a nature theme resort. So all of our rooms came with like a nice front porch area where we could like just sit and chill. And there were also like lots of like plants and trees and statues of little animals. So that was quite nice.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So that's us and our crazy antics again. So I'll release the video from my point of view on the shots. So look forward to that. But the staff was so sweet, he thought we stopped and so he just ran over to ask whether he could help. Their hospitality is like a different level on its own. So this was the day after the elections. There was actually a curfew being implemented across the entire country. So most of the shops as well as tourist attractions were all closed. Um, yeah, but as tourists, we were still allowed to travel from city to city. So that's exactly what we were doing in our 4 hours to Kandy. It was extra easy because there was no other cars on the road.
Wow.
This is the beauty about traveling on a tuk-tuk. You get to see such incredible views throughout your drive, making it a really unique like road trip experience. So we got to our hotel and this is a room tour. So what's really surprising is like throughout Sri Lanka, we did have very nice air-conditioned rooms with hot water showers. So it was just really impressive. So after this, we headed to the Kandy train station in an attempt to get tickets for the famous Kandy to Ella train ride. We only wanted the tickets from the midway of the journey from Nuwara Eliya to Ella instead because that's the most scenic portion of the train ride. However, we decided against it eventually because our tuk-tuk was also able to give us a very like scenic drive. So yeah, you could actually purchase your tickets online, but they were already sold out. So we were just trying our luck at the station. So after which we actually headed to the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic, which is a Buddhist temple in Kandy that houses the relic of the tooth of the Buddha. So there's actually three periods of service in the day where you can catch a glimpse of this relic. They are at 5:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m., as well as 6:30 p.m. So do plan your trip accordingly. Also, this temple is also part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I would say that the rituals involves quite heavy use of drums, and it's quite an impressive sight. So I do recommend you come and check it out for yourself. So there's actually an entry fee required for foreigners, so you can purchase your tickets just right outside the temple. You also do need to deposit your shoes as well as bulky baggages, and also like you might be approached by like different people to give you like a tour of the place. So they do expect a fee, so you can like make an informed decision. So to catch a glimpse of the Buddha tooth relic, you can actually join the queue on the second floor, and then like you would have a few seconds to pass by this window where you can see the relic. And similarly, for some of the other rooms in this temple, you are also allowed to explore at this time.
No food.
Kandy is so different before and after the curfew. During the
Do you
curfew,
see
it felt like a
that?
ghost town, but after the curfew, it was like a bustling city, so it was quite impressive change. So after which we actually headed to the Kandy Municipal Central Market for some shopping and just to see the way of life of the locals. So there was quite a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables being sold. I would say that the variety across the shops was quite limited because like they were mostly selling the same thing.
Get a pineapple. It's a pineapple. Which store you going? This is level what?
So I wanted to buy some spices and I actually read all the reviews prior to like coming to this market, and I read that like store number 28 was like not a scam and they were nice and they would allow you to like walk away to make your decisions. So that's
No.
exactly where I'm headed because I don't want to be
No, it's okay. We
pressured
take a
into
look first.
buying something
Yeah.
at exorbitant prices. So on the inside of the market, like spices, teas were mostly being sold. There were also some of the shops that were selling like fresh meats, but like the most crowded shop, as you can see here, is the Lotto shop. Yeah, so it's some form of
Yeah.
lottery, so everybody was just coming out there.
So is this your shop? Is this your shop? Huh? Hello. No, no. No, no. No. Yeah.
So here we are, we found store number 28, and just like the reviews, he was very friendly and non-pressurizing, so he wasn't hard selling or anything. He just let me like smell different spices, and when I walked away, he was super okay with that as well. When I eventually did come back and purchase my spices from him. So he does offer quite a huge variety in different styles. There are very nice packaged ones,
Film a video.
but he also recommended me like something that the locals would buy, like with more variety, cheaper prices, and like just less fancy looking, but serves its purpose. It was kind of cute. He did have a guest book where he records like people who like he sold stuff to. So there were like people from Germany, like France and stuff like that. So it was quite cute. So there was also an outdoor section to this market, and they were selling quite a bit
I just buy
of
some back.
fresh fruits as well as vegetables, and the vendors were so nice and let me take like their photos. So
Yeah,
yeah.
sell small windows.
There were also like shops along the entire street, mostly selling brinjals. So you can also check that out. But we didn't really have a kitchen, so that was hard for us.
No time. Don't know eh. Yeah, right. This way what yesterday, right?
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
So we did also want to try some of their like murukus as well as other snacks. So we stopped by this shop that's located like along the streets.
They got the sugar muruku, yeah.
That sounds very sweet. You like your mother like a Kelly Muru.
Yeah, but I can't buy back, what can I?
I think you can, but like not now because very loud.
I'm afraid.
It's okay, go ahead.
What is this?
Wasawa. Wasawa chips.
No. What about this muruku?
Cheese flavor.
Can I try the muruku?
Muruku. Listen that. You like it spicy?
Spicy. Feel good. I like it.
So he did let us do quite a bit of sampling of his products before we finally decided on
you,
what
boss.
to get.
Thank you.
But it was hard to buy back to our country because it was in like plastic bags and not vacuum sealed. So it would have been spoiled as this was quite early into our trip. Yeah.
I was very curious.
So we completed one round around the market and we're back at the front of it. There was quite a lot of commonalities across the different shops. They were selling like wood apples, tamarinds, and like brinjals, pumpkin, and stuff like that. So it was quite an interesting sight. And we did get quite a lot of stares like throughout our trip, as they don't really get much Asian visitors, especially in Sri Lanka. So people were like extra nice to us and they were like smiling and greeting us. So that was quite cute. So that's all that we did in Kandy before moving on to the next cities. After that, we visited like different safaris and stuff. So do look forward to our next video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Yeah. So see you in the next video.
What is this?